Welcome back. Welcome back, WNYWaterCooler.com podcast. We got Steve, the fabulous host, and we have Coast, the co-host.
How come you never say Coast the fabulous co-host ever?
Well, you can't have two fabulous people.
So I think I have never been more wrong about a game than I was last week.
I'm sure, I'm sure you have. I don't remember what you predicted in these some of these playoff debacles where we just choke poorly, but yeah, that one I didn't see it coming either because I completely underestimated how awful our safeties and linebackers are when it's like the second and third guys. I mean, even Rap got hurt early in that game. Didn't he? He came down, got the concussion early,
Um, I
or
can't
may
remember exactly when in the game it was, but um,
and I just
Bishop
have
was out there enough. It couldn't have been more than halfway through
yeah.
or
I mean,
about
and
that.
it's the Ravens. I know Lamar is good, but I'm just he he does what he did in that game. He that you make him make a play and he fumbled it, like he instantly tried to give us the game back. And I mean, we've got time to break this whole thing down, but that fumble he had, like, what was he doing?
Yeah, he Jackson didn't have to do much of anything in the game. I mean, he had that nice TD run, I guess, and he had maybe completed a couple passes downfield.
But
But
Hill is just swinging out wide open. You just flare it to him.
yeah,
I mean, most quarterbacks can make that pass. He's obviously fast and dynamic running the ball. So if he gets into a space, he's gonna make the play that he needs to make. But yeah, I think the receivers had three or four catches or targets. Like he didn't do much. Yeah, and like, he didn't have to do much, which we'll see if that it's a winning formula. It hasn't been for him yet, but
yeah, I mean the Ravens, when the game goes a specific way, I feel like they're going to be tough to contend with. And I mean the game started, it was a nightmare start for us. It Yeah, and I agree with you. I think I underestimated how bad our linebackers and safeties would be. I thought our D line would play much better than they did. I think I underestimated Henry. I mean, I was just like way off. I mean, Spector, that first touchdown run, he didn't even get touched, Henry. And then how slow our DBs were to catch him, I don't know. The whole thing was horrendous. And I also, you know, I'm
you can't give that up on the
obviously,
first fucking play. You can't do that.
no, it's
But on the
insane.
road in a night game, I mean,
You know what they're gonna do to like, I love McDermott. Obviously, I support him. I think he's
strange.
whatever. Yeah, but I, I feel like just two things. One, I, he generally, I think, is pretty good on fourth downs, but I feel like in big moments
Not
or
that
big
way.
games,
Not yeah. I know,
and
yeah,
that's what
but
I mean.
the
Like,
big games. Why is he coached different in big games? I mean, okay, it's probably a better opponent, but that's not necessarily a better defense. I mean, it's more important, I would think, to go for it.
and defensively, sometimes I feel like we're so afraid to give up the big play that it like backfires on us. Like, you know what the Ravens are going to do. I'm not afraid of Lamar Jackson throwing to Zay Flowers or throwing to whoever else their receivers are. Like,
Yeah, if
you
he
know
gets
where
a
their
50-yard
strengths are.
pass over our heads, well,
It
we just let
happens.
Derrick Henry have a fucking 87-yard pass. Yeah, he's McDermott is so obsessed with no big plays, limit a touchdown pass. But how many times have we had a long run for a touchdown? I mean, just off the top of my head, I can think of a half dozen.
Yeah, we give up a lot of big runs. So and like so looking at the box score, Henry and Justice Hill accounted for 217 yards rushing, and Justice Hill and 88 yards receiving. So whatever that is, it's almost 300 yards of offense between just Justice Hill and Derrick Henry in a game where they had 427 yards total and 300 to the two running backs. And then Jackson ran for 54. So, That's 350 of 420. That so you got 70 yards basically going to like likely the game. Everyone knew all last week, and I didn't take it seriously. It was like the Ravens' strengths are going to attack the middle of the Bills' D, running backs, whatever.
Upstairs.
And for them to be able to just like do that so effortlessly, and it was a little bit, it was, kind of, it was embarrassing, really.
And I'm watching in the first quarter, and I'm like, why the fuck is OJ Simpson out there trying to make tackles? Who the hell is number 32? I had to look it up like multiple times. I'm like, there's a 32 out there? Is someone like clowning me in an OJ Simpson jersey?
Who is number 32? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, he was like in the
Is it
background of
Louis for the Bills, number 32?
yeah, Murrow or Morrow.
Oh, Morrow. Oh, he's number 32. Yeah, I know Morrow came in to try and, but when we got more aggressive, like the first drive of the second half, we bring pressure and Spector gets a sack and they punt and like sometimes in these big games against these good offenses, we just like I want us to go down swinging, not go down like we go down. Like the Bengals when we played the Bengals and how easy it was for them. I mean, for a defense that overall always ranks towards the top of the league, they can look so bad, like worse than any defense could possibly look. And it happens against these good teams way too often.
What I and the punting, we went for it and we punted for it on 4th and 1 from our own 39. How's
Yeah.
that make any sense? I don't. And it was inches versus a full yard.
Yeah.
Like
That's the excuse. That's the excuse. But the second punt, it's you're down 14-3 already. And like what would make McDermott think that there was any chance we were going to get a stop and get the ball back? Like that's it's not like it was a back and forth like defensive battle. It was 87-yard TD run, and then their next drive they just marched right down the field and scored another touchdown. So why why would McDermott be so thinking that, hey, let's punt it back to him and maybe a different outcome will happen? Like, there was no reason to think that. Next thing you know, it's 21-3, and the game's basically, you're pretty much screwed. I mean, it wasn't over because we almost got back into it, but your offense becomes one dimensional. Their offense is able to dictate and do whatever they want. Like, it, it was just, it was bad.
the thing that pissed me off the most, I think, or I mean, there's a lot of things, but 2nd and inches, we run up and do a QB sneak. So we
Mm-hmm.
did it on a 2nd and 1 and a 2nd and inches. Like,
Yep.
what? How does that make any sense to do that? It's a free
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, second and a half a yard where you're going to get it. Second down and one, like I completely agree with you. I mean Brady, worst game of his Bills tenure, I think. Obviously, I think you could say the same thing about Babbage. You can maybe even say the same thing about McDermott, except he's had worse playoff blunders probably. But yeah, 2nd and inches, exactly. You do something there. You don't need to run a QB sneak. Third and inches, yeah, sure, okay. I don't need to get to fourth down, but like 2nd and 1, just dial something up. And plus, you're putting your quarterback in harm's way more than you need to.
It was preposterous. When you get a free play, I don't know what you're scared that he's going to take a sack or turn the ball over. I mean,
No, I
it's
think
illogical.
no, I think it's the I think McDermott in big games against really good teams, not all the time, but sometimes he just I mean, because we've gone on the road and we beat this team on the road 2 years ago. We've won an Arrowhead. Like we won big road games where it doesn't happen, but just on occasion, it seems like McDermott just chokes in these situations, and it was like the entire game he was just so like cautious. I don't know. The whole thing. It's crazy.
And then we see, so Lamar turns it over. We score. We finally score, and we're sort of moving down the field. Maybe we only got one first down, but it seemed like the crowd was kind of like all you need, the crowd and the team, they've done this multiple times this year already, are going to
Yep.
choke or let the game tighten up. And we do the most preposterous, idiotic. I mean, I like to maybe try a good trick play once in a while. I mean, especially
Keyword
against bad
good.
teams. But what is the trick play? So you're a guy back there that never touches the fucking ball. He had 3 touches, Curtis Samuel. This guy we're paying 8 mil to do nothing. He's snapping the ball, and Allen is to the left. Do you not think the whole defense is just going to sort of assume the ball is going to go to Allen or Allen's going to come to the ball? Like, I mean, Van Noy, the
Well,
guy's been around for 25 years eating our shit. Like,
well, I mean, have we run the Wildcat with Samuel once this season? Like, it's not like
he,
we were. It's not like we run the Wildcat with Samuel like multiple times a game where we could be setting up some kind of trick play. Also, the way Allen lined up, he wasn't like lined up as he was lined up like directly to the left of Samuel, like in the backfield. So it was like clear that we were trying to get the ball back to Allen. And then I, the, I mean, no one was fooled at all. Like I think we only had 2 receivers go out in the route, and they were both like double. I mean, the whole thing was a disaster. The design of the play, the timing of it, like we had the momentum. Yeah, I believe in momentum. I think it's huge. And it's 21-10. We're driving on their side of the 50. It's 2nd and 7. There was no need to run a trick play there. Just score on that drive. And like you said, Baltimore is going to be dying to give the game away because it happens all the time to them.
it was just very strange. And so even if it gets to him and he's going to stay to his left, the only receiver running downfield, because obviously you're going to be trying to make a big play, was Mac Hollins. What?
Yeah, yeah. The whole thing was. I mean, they were trying to catch him off guard with. It just didn't work at all, and it was just a bad play overall. I don't know what that was supposed to look like. So it was. I mean, Joe Brady took the. I mean, it really cost them a chance to win the game. That play and the Henry TD run, those were the 2 plays that like really dictated the outcome of this game. The score ended up being a blowout, but that can happen in the NFL. Things kind of snowball, and one team basically quits, and it kind of
There's no coming back after that. I mean, did they
but
score a touchdown when they
yeah,
recovered the? Yeah, so it's just like, I mean,
yeah,
I don't know
they
what the
drove right
players
down
really.
and made it 28-10.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the players really think, but like
Yeah,
if I like just to pick up, whatever softball, whatever I'm
oh, that's
doing, just
demoralizing.
it's just like what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, then we get into field goal range, and on the next drive, I think it was 28-10, where we drive down, get into field goal range, get stopped, and then Bass just another brutal shank. I mean,
Yeah, that wasn't even close
kicks.
again. Just
I mean, this guy, he's gonna screw us this season. It's just gonna happen. We've just played, blowout games far where we haven't. This guy hasn't really had to like a check, and it's gonna happen. Something. Coin.
well, your phone's breaking up. I don't know if you're driving through a tunnel, but uh, just another bean blunder. I don't get the kick. Yeah, we're stuck with this guy. I think we're stuck with him next year too. I feel like. I mean, you can't possibly go with him in the next season with him, but you're not replacing him this year.
No, I mean what the dead cap? Yeah, dead cap next year can't be that even if it is whatever 3-4 million. Yeah, but then it's like on the flip side, how are you gonna what kicker is unemployed?
Not in the regular season. I mean, maybe in the and then of course your boy Keon doesn't know how to catch. I mean, yeah, he caught a couple balls when the game was over, just playing pass with his dad out in the backyard, and that's cool.
he had a big catch on the drive that we scored our TD on, and yeah, but I mean it was obviously would have been nice if he didn't drop that first one, but I
It
don't
would
know.
have
I think
been.
we got to
Yeah, I would
start
have
throwing the
enjoyed that if
ball
he
more.
didn't do that. He needs more
Probably should
touches.
start
I mean, I
throwing him the
guess
ball
you can't
more.
really throw it to him if he doesn't show up for practice on time, or he's taking a snooze in meetings, or maybe he's downloading Tinder or some shit. I don't know.
Maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see. I don't think we need to change a whole lot on offense. I think our offense is still totally fine. I mean,
Especially
through
with
four games,
Devontae.
I think through 4 games, our offense has been good. I mean, we've had a weird season because I feel like in half of 3 out of 4 games, we like haven't really had to play. Like, I mean,
So we'll be
Trubisky came
refreshed.
in.
We'll be fresh for this game, you're saying. Get our
Yeah,
heads
I'm just saying,
pounded in
like,
by a sophomore.
yeah, I don't know. It's been a weird 3 blowouts in 4 games, whatever. But yeah, moving on. I'm not worried about our offense. I think our offense is fine. I do have
Especially
we
if
got
you
to get
add an
guys back.
all-pro perennial stud.
I have zero interest in adding Devontae Adams. Zero. You
I
can
mean, if you,
maybe convince me that what?
I don't want him either. I mean, if because of his salary and because I'm not trading a second round pick for a rental. I mean, that would be just
Insane.
malpractice. But
I agree. And I if you could convince me more that Cooper would be a better idea than Adams because he's younger, he's cheaper. Like I don't know how that like the cap and everything work out, but he doesn't currently have a alleged hamstring injury. So,
well,
but I
yeah,
don't know,
that'll
man. I think
magically heal itself probably. But he is
yeah,
32, so
yeah. I think it's tough to expect a receiver to join a team um, mid-season. I know. I mean, it doesn't happen that much, and just like how much of an impact is he really like? How much better is our offense going to be if we add a receiver in October? Like I don't know. I mean, I just I don't have that much that I wouldn't think that it would really make that much of a difference. I think our offense is fine. I think defensively we need to get guys healthy and see where this goes. I Baltimore maybe it is a nightmare matchup for us, but we also are missing a lot of guys as usual the last 2 years.
no, I think most teams are. But the last thing about that,
Yeah,
what was pissing me off, I know you're a big karma guy. Them trying just wasting the fourth quarter trying to get Derrick Henry some mythological 200 yards.
yeah,
I mean, what the fuck? That is such a strange thing. They gave him
yeah.
the ball like four times at the end of the fourth quarter.
And he didn't even get it.
Yeah, didn't get it, and
So
it's like, what?
I agree, man. Unless there's some like he has some like bonus kick in his contract. If he has a 200-yard game, he gets like a couple hundred grand or something. But even still, these guys are yeah, because the backups were in at that point, except he was still out there.
Yeah, it's just like, what are you
So
doing? This guy is in his 30s. I
yeah.
don't know. I think that was a strange look. I mean, no one really talks about that sort of stuff, but to me, that was just bush league.
Well, Henry. I mean, he is like an alien, but I have a hard time picturing him being nearly as effective, in December as he is right now. The amount of wear and tear this guy has on his body, I know he's like a freak, but I don't know. I just there could be some slowing down that goes on with him throughout the year. He's 30, like you said. I mean, you just haven't. I guess we haven't seen someone like him, but there he's at his freshest right now. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's true. But and I mean, the game was they had to have it. They couldn't. They would have been 1-3. Uh, I think the team just didn't come out. The Bills, I don't know what happened there.
I mean,
Just
we just played Monday Night Football, short week too. Like this stuff happens. I mean, we talked about how we never get blown out. Maybe it's good we finally did, but this kind of stuff happens in the NFL all the time. And we the start of the game, it was just like you know a recipe for disaster.
And our three wins are looking pretty nice. Well, what's our the opponent's record? The teams that we beat combined 3-13 or something.
Yeah, I mean they two and I
Seven,
think
nine,
two. I
three
think
and nine, 3-9.
wait, who do we wait? Jacksonville hasn't won. I think there's only two wins.
Is Arizona
But
is Arizona 1-3 or 2-2?
I think they're 1-3.
Two and
But yeah,
ten.
yeah, but wins and losses, I get it. I get it. I'm not gonna like really debate that. We haven't beaten great teams, but we've smoked the teams we played. And I mean, look at Jacksonville. They really easily could have just won in Houston last week. Um, Arizona's played. I mean, they've barely lost to the Lions. Like, anytime you blow a team out, it's good, even if they're not the best team. So, and it's I don't know. Any team can beat any team in this league. Like it's like
No
more
one
so
beats the
than
Chiefs though.
well, because they just get lucky. I mean, they're incredibly lucky. That team. My takes on Mahomes not being that good and Reed. I mean, Reed's great, but like the amount of luck they've gotten to win their Super Bowls, it's just no one can wants to talk about it because it's like you look like a loser if you want to talk about it. But all the timely penalty calls they get in their favor, their kicker never missing in the playoffs. Just it's you have to be so
Because yeah, he's
lucky
got a
to.
strong woman at home to take care of the kids. He can
That's
concentrate on
true.
his.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I forgot about that. He's allowed to focus on his craft while his wife stays home where he claims she should be.
Makes sense to me.
So
When
I
I'm
think the
when I'm
Chiefs are
making four
lucky,
mil a year, I kind of want to concentrate on what I'm doing.
dude. They're the Chiefs
Mike
might be like
McDaniel's
last.
such a bitch. I hate that.
Oh,
He sucks.
what happened with him now? I don't even know.
Just
You can't win without. That was a random subject change. What did I miss?
I don't know. I just the Dolphins. I don't even want to talk about it, but I'm just so all the amount of just people loving him. I don't know. It's
Oh
just
yeah,
a rant I have. I'll always have that rant until he gets. I don't know. I mean, the people on GR. Oh yeah, we better root for that. Like, what are we scared of Mike McDaniel getting fired? Give me a break. I want him to stay
he's
there.
he's 1-5 without Tua, and I mean, you're right. The amount of praise he gets versus what he's done is
Backup
definitely
quarterbacks
not.
win all the time. Not there. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah. No, I don't disagree with that take. He's way more loved than he deserves, I think. Just people think he's like cool.
Yeah, because
South
football people
Beach.
are nerds and like morons. I don't know, but
And the WGR people, they are the worst, man. They are the worst. They think we're they think we're running, the Bills are a fantasy team and all that matters is stats and like wide receivers, receptions and yards and it's a joke listening to them. 4 hours on Devontae Adams. I mean, Jeremy White has been talking about receivers for 4 years, even when we had Diggs. Like the guy, I don't know, like I'd rather be, I guess we have different ideas of building a team, but this wide receiver obsession that they have and the afternoon guys have, or Shope has, Parker's afraid to stand up to him and just lets them. It's
Chap
so
came
it's
out this on Thursday. Today we're doing the podcast. He's like ripping Bean for trading for Devonte Adams. Like you're going against your whole game plan that you had all offseason. Like we didn't trade for anyone just because some dickhead on Twitter said that we're interested in him. Like they take those rumors so seriously, and then I mean, they got to fill 4 hours every day.
yeah,
Although
they
I could
do,
do that, but I could just do something other than talk about wide receivers and like talk about
dude.
wide receivers. That's all I talk about.
Every single GM is makes inquiries. Like that doesn't mean that you're like seriously. An inquiry is like, hey, is he this guy actually on the market? Or like, what's like it doesn't mean we're seriously like considering trading for him. And
What
like
team
when we
wouldn't
were
say,
like,
"Hey, well, Raiders, you're gonna give me Devonte Adams for a seventh, and you pick up his salary"? Like, what? Every
yeah,
30 teams, 25 teams would do that. So,
it's
oh well,
literally
that's
the
even
GM's job to do that
yeah. So to take all
during the
those
season.
reports so seriously is just it's a waste of time to
Well,
me.
there was like the Beckham rumors, and that took about like 2 months of
2 months,
airwave
they're still
time.
talking about it. Oh, he's with the Dolphins. Like, I don't know. He's practicing with the Dolphins. Are they gonna move him? Like, yeah, Beckham.
It's
Odell Beckham watch was years. Holy
oh
shit.
my god, it's brutal. Every time you turn it on, it's like receiver, 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 and these guys have played 4 games.
Although we
Three,
do need a receiver.
I
I
don't
mean,
know if we need a
Shakir's
receiver.
hurt.
It's too early.
Shakir's hurt. Our left tackle's
Yeah.
hurt. We're going against
Did Shak
the best quarterback in the league.
what? Did you watch him this season?
No,
But
they haven't been on prime
Shakir
time yet, have they?
did Shakir practice today?
No,
He's got an ankle sprain. Come
he
on,
didn't practice
guy's got
Wednesday or Thursday. I mean, at least the left tackle Schno practiced limited, but
any update on Taryn?
he was limited. They were all limited, those guys.
Oh,
But Shakir didn't
yeah,
practice
I don't see Taryn playing, but I think Bernard's gonna. He didn't even have a non-contact jersey on yesterday. So
Yeah, but
one would
Trevor
think he'd
Johnson's
be
like, oh yeah,
back.
I'll play with this the rest of the year. My arm's wrapped. I'm good. I don't know. He seemed jovial, but
And he put him in there. He's got to man up Steph Diggs.
I'm surprised we're favored. They don't do pick'ems in Vegas. They always do -1. So and we're -1 right now. Total's 47.5. The line hasn't
Yeah,
moved at all. So
yeah. I
I
looked last week and it was 1.5, or before the Bills game, and it was 1.5, and it barely moved, I guess, after we got smoked. I mean, the Texans haven't been like overly impressive yet, and they've had injuries. I don't know what if Mixon. For some reason, I'm afraid of Mixon. I feel like
because he
he's
owns
like
us.
us. Yeah, and after what Henry just did to us, it's like I don't know. It's a little
Yeah, Tunsil's
concerning.
questionable. They're both their running backs are questionable. Let me pull up their injury report. But yeah, I was just looking at Houston. So they beat Jacksonville by 4 at home. They got smoked by Minnesota. This Minnesota team is the mystery
Yeah.
of the sports world. I don't understand that team. How
Well,
are
we
they
need a
picked to be
mystery.
so horrible? And then I don't know. They
Good
barely beat the
coaching.
Bears at home by 6. I mean, it's the Bears. Bears have a pretty good defense, but I watched Caleb Williams play football and he's not good. And they beat the Colts by 2.
Who have been terrible.
So they have a negative
So
point differential.
yeah. Well, their 3 wins have all been they barely won, and then they got blown out in one game. Stroud, he's I mean he's playing fine. I don't know. He's what has he got here? 67%
He's
completions,
got good
1,000 yards.
stats.
Yeah, he's got pretty good stats so far. So I mean they're a good team, and I don't know. I feel I don't even know how to feel. I feel like I had such a good read on this squad until last week, and now I feel like I'm off the scent.
Yeah, that fanboy in you. Houston hasn't released their official injury report yet, but as of yesterday, they had a bunch of players limited or not practicing, so they might be without their two top running backs, which I mean that still matters a bit.
Yeah, I think Mixon not playing is big. Um for if they can't run the ball, if we can stop the run with our I feel like I said the same thing last week. But obviously the big threat for them is Nico. I'm not really that afraid of anyone else. I think Dell might be back, but Nico's Nico's been like sick this season. Yeah, so Mixon, he wasn't at practice today.
And neither was
Uh,
Pierce, but Dell practiced and so did Ward, the safety, but bruised ribs. This is another like toss up, and it's a weird 1 o'clock game for two teams that were like in the
weird,
divisional round.
weird one. It's best time slot possible. Maybe.
It's strange that these two teams are playing at 1 o'clock.
The Diggs rematch game, yeah. I guess. Yeah,
Oh, I'm glad you brought up my hero, Stefon
the
Diggs. Oh
hero.
my gosh,
I
the
feel
guy
like yeah, he's having a pretty good season so far. He's on pace for 100 catches.
can't believe it. That's so shocking.
Yeah, I mean, how many more points than Houston have we scored so far this season? Let me check that real quick. Oh, they've had a lot harder schedule than us, right? They played Jacksonville, Indy. Oh wait, their schedule's been a joke too.
25 catches, 233 yards, 2 tuds. What a stud.
Damn, we've scored
Stefon
43
Diggs.
more points. We've scored 43 more points than the Texans this season. Damn. Diggs. Well, he had like half his season production in that loss to the Vikings, 34-7. So
No, like that game, those stats count though. I mean, it was against the NFL.
yeah, they of course they count. I'm sure he was thrilled with how that game played out.
He's he's the most competitive player in the NFL. I mean, it'd be nice if we had some players like that. We used to have one. We got negative cap space and no draft picks this year for him. I remember that.
How come our offense is scoring so many points?
10 last time I saw him out there.
30 plus a game?
So he would lead us in receptions, he'd lead us in yards, he'd lead us in targets, he'd lead us in touchdowns. Man, it's almost like he's a stud receiver.
Well, we would have how many would we have more points? Or
I don't know. Maybe we'd
in
still be three
offense,
and one, but
it's about how many. It's about the
Shakir
totality of
being
the
out,
offense.
we're fucked. If Shakir's out, this offense, let's see what they do. I mean, Curtis Samuel, how many catches do you think he has this year?
Three.
Eight.
Oh, eight.
Nine
Oh, he's on
targets,
pace
48
for
yards.
30. He's on pace for like 30. Well, every pass we throw to him is underneath
We
like the
targeted this
screen.
guy. Didn't we sign him like the first day of free agency? Give him like
Yeah.
big, decent
I,
guarantee money, and we don't use him?
yeah, I'm not really sure what we're trying to do with him.
How
Um,
mediocre is Dalton Kincaid? I,
he's great.
great.
Why are you so down on Dalton Kincaid?
He's not a game changer. He's just a middle of the road tight end. Has he ever made a big play in his career?
Dalton Kincaid is not a middle of the road tight end. You can tell what it's how we're using him right now and how our offense is running that Kincaid isn't like I don't know. I mean, the guy he can make big plays. He has made big
Hmm, maybe one.
he's a great
We
I think
traded up for
Dalton
this
Kincaid.
guy.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Matt Collins, 4 catches. Dawson Knox, 3 catches. Marquez Valdez Scantling. I don't even know what number that dude is. 2 catches. I don't know. I just have a lot of questions about this offense. Well, I think we lost you. I mean, I could rant on about this all day, but Valdez Scantling, what number does he? He's number 15. I don't know. I mean, I guess he's on the team. Are you there? Well, we lost Coast. We got 2 minutes left here. You back? You're muted.
I'm a disaster. Yeah, I'm back. My bad. My bad.
So Marquez Valdez Scantling, number 15. Uh, we only got 2 minutes left here, but yeah, Knox 3 catches, Matt Collins 4, Vantel Skelding, whatever the fuck his name is too.
Dude, we're fine. We played 4 games.
All right, we'll
Or,
see. I mean, Houston,
exactly. There's no reason to like think that we were 3-1. 3 of the games have been blowouts. There's no reason to think that anything is wrong at this point. And we got a bunch of new guys. Like it's going to take some time for them to gel. And every single person would have taken that record to start
yeah,
the
I would
year.
take three
So
and one. I would take 3-1. You're right. So, I mean, let's see. At Houston this week, and then we have two really good defenses after that. So we'll see.
yeah, we'll see.
I
What
mean,
we got? What do we got? We got Jets and then Titans.
yeah.
Oh, Titans defense is good.
Yeah. I don't have time to look it up now. I mean, it's not for a few weeks, but they do have a good defense. But we got
Okay.
less than a
Well,
minute. So, what's your Houston prediction here?
um, man, this is a tough call. Oh, if Mixon's out, I'm going to take the Bills in a tight one, 20, 24-23.
Bills lose?
No, Bills win 24-23.
I'm going
Maybe.
21-20 we lose.
Oh man,
I don't know. I Houston might be a tough place to play. Last
I don't think so.
last memory I have there is Allen just melting down.
Almost carrying us to a road playoff win single handedly.
Yeah,
If Duke
almost.
Williams, if Duke Williams could catch,
Almost is doing a lot in that sentence.
I didn't even
Um,
remember that Duke Williams drop. Oh my
yeah, I do.
god,
I remember
brutal.